In a small city surrounded by dust and dreams, there lived a man named Aamir. Every morning, before the sun could rise, he woke up to the sound of his old alarm clock. He'd wash his face with cold water, iron his worn-out uniform, pack a simple lunchbox, and head to work. Aamir was a security guard at a construction company. He guarded unfinished buildings, half-built bridges, and empty parking lots. To most people, his job was invisible, like the air always there but never noticed. For 10 straight years, Aamir never missed a single day of work. No sick leave, no late arrival, no excuses. Rain or shine, flood or fever, he was always there. People at the site joked that the construction could collapse, but Aamir would still show up on time to guard the ruins. The younger workers laughed at him sometimes. "Brother, you work too hard for too little." Aamir would smile, not with pride, but with peace. He'd say, "Work doesn't have to make me rich. It just has to make me better." But behind that calm face was a dream no one knew. Every lunch break, while others played cards or scrolled on their phones, Aamir sat under the same banyan tree with a small notebook. He'd watch how the engineers measured steel rods, how they drew blueprints, how they talked about load, design, and foundation. Then he'd quietly copy what he saw, drawing, learning, studying in secret. He couldn't afford school, but life itself became his classroom. Some days, he'd even ask the workers questions. How does the bridge hold this much weight? Why does the foundation need this depth? They'd laugh. "Aamir, you're a guard, not an engineer." But Aamir didn't care. He'd smile and say, "Knowledge doesn't need a title, my friend." Years passed. The company grew. Aamir grew older, his uniform faded, but his spirit stayed bright. By now, everyone knew Aamir never missed a day. He had become part of the site, like the gate he guarded. Then came a project that would change everything. A new suspension bridge across the river, the company's biggest dream. It was a risky design, complex, modern, and expensive. The chief engineer, Mr. Rakesh, led the project with pride. Aamir stood at the gate every day, watching that dream rise from dust to sky. One evening, during a storm, disaster struck. A section of the half-built bridge collapsed into the river. The wind howled, alarms blared, and chaos filled the air. The company panicked. The chief engineer resigned, blaming the design. Investors threatened to pull out. Everyone looked for someone to blame, except Aamir. He just watched quietly as the bridge he had guarded for months fell into pieces. That night, while everyone left, Aamir stayed behind. Under the flickering light of his security post, he opened his notebook, the same one he'd been filling for 10 years, and began to draw. The next morning, at the company meeting, tension filled the air. Executives argued. Engineers stayed silent. Then a quiet voice came from the back. It was Aamir. He walked in, holding his old notebook, trembling slightly. "Sir," he said, "I know I'm just a guard, but I think I can fix it." Everyone stared in disbelief. The manager frowned. "Fix it? You're not even qualified to touch a blueprint." But Aamir didn't back down. He opened his notebook, revealing pages and pages of sketches, designs, angles, notes, measurements, all written with care. "This is what I've learned watching you all these years," he said softly. "I think the bridge failed because the support angle was wrong for this terrain. If we change the load-bearing structure, it can still stand." The room went silent. One of the junior engineers checked his math and froze. He whispered, "He's right. His design works." At first, no one believed it. But when they tested his idea on a model, it worked perfectly. Aamir's quiet years of observation had paid off. The company decided to give him a chance, not as a guard this time, but as part of the engineering support team. Under his new design plan, the bridge was rebuilt, stronger, safer, and more beautiful than before. And when the bridge finally opened, the mayor himself called Aamir on stage. Everyone clapped, cameras flashed, and the man who once stood by the gate now stood at the center of the bridge as the man who saved it. Aamir didn't forget where he came from. Even after being promoted and earning respect, he still came early, greeted the guards, and cleaned his own workspace. When asked how he stayed so humble, he said, "I guarded gates for 10 years. It taught me that every door opens only when you're ready. Not before. He later opened a small night school for laborers who wanted to learn technical skills. His goal was simple: to give others the chance he never had. Years later, people would still tell his story about the man who never missed a day, the man who studied in silence, the man who turned loyalty into knowledge and knowledge into legacy. When new guards joined the company, old workers would point to the bridge and say, "See that? It stands because a guard once believed he could build it." We often think success comes from talent, money, or luck. But sometimes it comes from something much simpler: showing up every day, even when no one is watching. Because one day, all those small days will add up, and the world will finally notice the man who never missed a single one. Consistency beats talent when talent forgets to show up.